Hi guys, thanks for joining me again, this time for a talk about gratitude. Now I want you to think about the last time you felt grateful for something. When was the last time you experienced gratitude? And then think of the last time you expressed your gratitude, either by verbalizing it, saying thank you, or perhaps even by making a gift to someone you felt grateful for. Now, I don't know what about you, but in my opinion, we neglect the practice of gratitude too often and we take too many things for granted, especially those kind of seemingly normal basic things. Take your health, for example. I'm sure most of you don't suffer from a major health condition or a disability. Most of you enjoy good health, however, we tend to take it for granted until we get sick. Only when our health fails us, we realize how lucky we are to have this good health that allows us to do all these great things we're doing in our lives. Or take the people around you, the people that spend time with you, that dedicate their time for you. All of these people deserve our gratitude. They deserve a thank you. But wouldn't you agree that sometimes we don't express our gratitude towards them enough? Sometimes we don't express our gratitude at all. And there's many other seemingly normal things that we tend to overlook and take for granted. However, we shouldn't, because to other people in the world, they are not so normal at all. For example, the access to clean water, good hygienic standard, a house that keeps you safe, a family that supports you. We should be more grateful for these things. Now, one moment I realized that the hard way was when I got up one morning, I went to the kitchen, turned on the water tap, water came out running as usual, but it suddenly stopped. Now I immediately started to panic, and it was the first time that I had to worry, that I had to ask myself, where am I gonna get drinking water from? How am I gonna get washed today? Now, usually worries don't occur to me because I have the luxury of access to clean water whenever I want it. But in this moment, I realized that I shouldn't take this for granted and I should be more grateful. This is what I want to talk about with you today: gratitude and the practice of gratitude. Now, it does make certain sense that we tend to look at the things we don't have yet, that we still wish for, instead of focusing on what we have received already or that we own. It makes sense in the way that what we wish for constitutes our goals, and our goals drive our action. However, being more consciously aware of the things we receive, paying more attention to the things we receive and already own, feeling more grateful for them, has a lot of benefits in it for you. There's been a lot of studies who explored these positive effects of gratitude on people, and I want to summarize their findings for you. So first of all, gratitude enhances your personal, interpersonal, and social success. Gratitude means that you're engaging in more cooperative behavior. This receiving and giving in a relationship strengthens a relationship, makes it more successful, and makes it last longer. So overall, it is a benefit for your social life. Also, gratitude has been shown to increase your well-being, especially your mental health. So not only does your mental health increase, it's also that gratitude can protect you against the development of certain mental health disorders such as anxiety or depression. And partly this is because gratitude will make you experience more positive rather than negative emotions. So gratitude is a positive emotion itself, and practicing more gratitude will lead to the experience of more positive rather than negative emotions. Besides this benefit for your mental well-being, gratitude also has some benefits for your physical health. So it's been shown that people who practice more gratitude have lower stress levels and even a higher stress resilience. With this higher resilience, with this lower stress level, also comes other physical benefits such as lower blood pressure or increased immunity. And taken together, both the mental and physical health benefits contribute to an overall increased better performance. So you'll feel more energized or more motivated, and your cognitive performance can improve if you practice more gratitude. Now, one thing I should point out there and make you aware of is that the effect sizes of all these things I just talked about are rather small. So that means that please don't imagine it the way that once you start practicing gratitude, your life will suddenly change for the better and there will be a major improvement. Now, of course, you will feel better and you will benefit from it. Your well-being will improve. However, this change might go a bit more unnoticed because the effects are rather small. Nevertheless, gratitude is such a simple and easy tool to use. It doesn't require anything, it only requires you and your willingness to engage in more gratitude. So, why shouldn't you make use of this easy tool to give yourself a boost for your well being? Well, I hope that convinced you, and I will give you some strategies or tips how you can practice more gratitude. However, before I do that, maybe we should also define gratitude. So, what is it really, gratitude? Is it an emotion? Is it a behavior? Is it a cognitive process? It's really all of them. So, scientists agree it's both an emotion and a cognitive process. On the emotional side, it's basically said that gratitude is a positive emotion, very similar to emotions such as empathy, for example, and it's classified as a moral emotion. Now, the thing is that we wouldn't automatically experience gratitude if someone, for example, helped us. To experience gratitude, it requires a certain cognitive appraisal. This is where the cognitive appraisal part comes in. So we need to evaluate the cost and benefit involved to both the benefactor and the beneficiary. We need to see that there is certain benefit we receive at the cost of someone else, and only when this cognitive evaluation happens, we experience gratitude. Now, one could also classify gratitude as experience versus expression. However, this classification is less homogeneous because the experience of gratitude usually leads to the expression, and the expression of gratitude requires the experience of it first of all. However, it doesn't work the other way around. Right, there's also support from the neurological point of view that gratitude is both an emotion and a cognitive appraisal because both emotional and cognitive areas are activated in the brain when we experience or express gratitude. For the emotional areas, there's areas involved such as the anterior insula, the anterior cingulate cortex, the striatum, or the ventromedial prefrontal cortex. Now, these are a lot of technical terms, and don't worry, you don't have to remember them. If you've heard of them before, that's great. If you haven't, just imagine them as areas in the brain that are generally involved in emotional valuation. Emotional valuation means that you can evaluate emotions as either positive or negative, and that's what these brain areas are responsible for. On the cognitive side, we have areas such as dorsolateral or parietal areas. Again, that's quite technical, and all you need to know really is that in general, these are areas that are involved when we have a cognitive process, an evaluation happening. One particular finding that I came across that I really want to share with you is the link between gratitude and altruism. So it's been shown that people who practice more gratitude also show more altruistic behavior. Well, first of all, let's look a bit at what altruism really means. So altruism is a kind of helping behavior, and it's really the purest form of helping behavior because it's a true selfless behavior. Whenever you help someone, there's a certain motivation driving your helping behavior. In a lot of cases, this motivation will be a personal benefit as well. So despite the benefit for the other person that motivates your helping behavior, there's also a certain personal benefit that comes with your helping behavior and that motivates you to engage in helping behavior. But with altruism, there's no personal benefit involved whatsoever. Your motivation is purely stemming from the benefit of the other person and not your personal benefit. Right. And it's been shown that if you engage in more gratitude, grateful behavior, your altruistic behavior will also improve. And there's even some basically neurological link or a neurological explanation. In the brain, we have a certain area called the ventromedial prefrontal cortex. Now, I mentioned this area earlier in regards to the emotional areas. And this area is not just involved in emotional evaluation, it's also involved in reward evaluation. Right, so when we have this helping behavior, as I said, there can be personal benefit and benefit of another person, so a kind of charitable benefit. And this particular brain area responds to both things. However, the activation differs, so it can be more activated when there's personal benefit involved or more activated when there's charitable benefit involved. What's been shown is that gratitude enhances the activity for charitable benefits and not for personal benefits. Essentially, this means that gratitude, in a sense, biases your brain towards the benefit of someone else. It makes you more sensitive and kind of focused on the benefit of someone else, more responsive towards the benefit of someone else rather than your own benefit. So in a sense, that means that there's a biological foundation saying that gratitude makes you a better person and a more selfless person. So that's really cool, right? And I mean, this alone is really a reason or would be reason for me to engage in more gratitude. So how can you do this? How can you practice more gratitude? I hope I could convince you that there's all these positive sides to gratitude and that it's really worth it to engage in it more. So how you can do this is, for example, by doing some kind of writing exercises. So you could, for example, create a list, writing down all the things you feel grateful for. You could write a letter to someone you feel grateful for, or you could engage in some journaling. However, if you don't like writing so much, you can also verbalize these things. You can really tell someone. You can also just think about what you feel grateful for. For example, if you go to bed, just think of one thing you feel grateful for that happened to you on this day, and this already counts as engaging in more gratitude. So it's as easy as that. One thing you should be aware of is that it doesn't necessarily need to be a person you feel grateful for. It can also be the world or nature's gift in a sense. So it can be a lot of things you feel grateful for. And as long as you really see that you received a certain benefit from an outside source, that's what it really means to feel grateful for something. So it doesn't have to be a person. It can also be the nature or the world that gave you something. Also important for you to keep in mind, please don't feel pressured or the need that you need to express your gratitude straight away after this event happened or someone, for example, helped you. So you can also express your gratitude later. As long as you express it, that's all it counts. It's never too late. So even a day later or a week later after someone, for example, helped you, you can still go to them and express your gratitude. And in modern days, it's also quite easy. You can just text the person and there you go. You don't need to write a letter. So why don't you, after having watched this video now, go away, think of one person you feel grateful for, one person that's done something for you, and tell them how grateful you are. Tell them in person if you see them, text them, or even write a letter. You don't even have to send the letter if you decide that you don't want to do that. You've still expressed your gratitude and you have still engaged in a practice of gratitude. So on that note, before you go away, think of the person, express your gratitude, maybe give me a comment or leave a feedback. If you have a question, also leave it and I will try to answer it, and I will hopefully see you next time again.